Hello, I'm Eric,
And I'm Sarah.
and this is Coffee and Books, where we drink delicious coffee and we talk about our favorite books and we talk about your favorite books. Before we get started, please check us out on Twitter, on Instagram. You can see the handles below. There'll also be some descriptions in the videos. Please check out our communities. We'd love to interact with you and talk about your favorite books. On this episode, and this is Misha. Sorry, she didn't get a proper introduction. This is Misha. On this episode, we discuss Mistborn by
Brandon Sanderson.
In case you haven't seen it, please check out our Stormlight Archives video where we dig into that. And we're going to go ahead and dig into Mistborn. Mistborn is... So I read a little bit in high school, but Mistborn is probably the book that got me into fantasy.
Probably,
Yeah,
for me, definitely.
Was it the same for you?
Yeah, like I hadn't read that much of it before Mistborn. Mistborn was kind of like the introduction, and I will say this, it is so good. I've been searching like other authors to try to meet that standard, and it's been a little bit of a letdown. There are some fantastic books, but Brandon Sanderson is definitely a step above.
Yeah.
I think we said in our
And the Stormlight
Archives, he's the best author of our day, I think. And
Yeah. I mean, you can make some other arguments. I think Pat Rothfuss is
he's
a
good.
better writer, like physically with words and sentences. But they're different styles. They're so different styles.
Right.
I think Sanderson, as far as the story goes, I think he's putting out best stories.
Yes. Yeah, definitely best stories. I don't know about, pretty sentences and everything, but...
Yeah. But not that his
Rothfuss,
sentences are bad. I mean,
yeah.
his writing's magnificent.
Right.
But it's not. It doesn't have the beautiful flow like Rothfuss.
Right.
But we'll talk
yeah.
about more whenever we review Rothfuss's books. And now we're going to dig into Mistborn. Mistborn is a dystopian... It's a dystopian era book. I don't know if I would call it future. It's just in a completely different world.
Yeah, it's a different world.
But it's a dystopia, and you follow two characters. I would say Vin is the main character.
Definitely, yeah.
She is a slave woman who works...
Well, she's stuck in like a guild of thieves, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but she's not like a thief. She's just kind of in the organization.
Right.
She's just kind of there. That's just kind of her life that she was born into. She was a slave. And then you have Kelsier, who's the other character, and he is the leader of a thieving crew. Right.
Yes.
And so, basically...
He's setting up a big heist, basically.
Yeah, he's setting up a big heist. And basically what happens is you have an evil ruler who's been ruling the world for 1,000 years, supposedly. And Kelsier decides that he's had enough, and he's going to overthrow the evil empire. And, I guess in doing so, he finds Vin. I don't think that's much of a spoiler.
Yeah, no.
And then
definitely not.
They interact together. And so the first book is called The Final Empire. This was like the second or third book that Sanderson produced. At the time, he didn't know if there was going to be a sequel. So, The Final Empire, or Mistborn as it's commonly known, is a standalone book. It can be read alone, but there are some threads that he left semi-open so that when he got approved for the sequels, they do flow together and they continue on. I am going to go ahead and give a spoiler warning because he does have a second trilogy in the franchise, and we're going to talk about that, and there might be some spoilers there. So if you stop here because of the spoilers, I understand. Please check out Mistborn. You can get the 3-box set on Amazon for like $15, something like that.
I think it's actually cheaper than that.
Might be
It's
cheaper.
like under 10, actually.
Might be slightly more expensive. Comes in this cool cardboard box. It's wonderful.
So Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages. You
Yes.
can buy them separately, but it's cheaper if you buy them in the trilogy.
That's right.
Great Christmas present.
Great Christmas present.
Or birthday.
Or just a gift.
That's true.
Doesn't even have to be a special occasion. Just make someone's life better. Check it out on Amazon. You may also be able to get it from him. I just got it from Amazon itself, and it was fantastic. It's a wonderful wonderful read. Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and give a spoiler warning. Thank you for watching. If you stop here, if we continue on, we're going to get into the next trilogy and the second and third book of this series. I'll go ahead and give the flashing warning.
Woohoo.
Warning.
Warning. Beep, beep, beep.
Alright, we're going to dig in. I will say, The Final Empire was a very good read. If you have not read it and you're coming in here for a little bit of the spoiler action, I don't want to spoil the whole story, but I will say that Vin, she grew up on the streets in the thieving crew as a slave, so she doesn't really know how to be a woman.
That's true.
Especially
She's
in
very much
her
a tomboy.
society.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be turned into a feminist issue, but in her world, in her society, she doesn't know how to be a woman.
Right.
Not that she acts like a man, she just doesn't know how to be a woman.
Yeah.
And so there is a point in the book where she goes to a lot of parties, and she's learning how to become a woman. I don't want to say it's
funny.
boring, but it is a little slower than the rest of the book.
Well, yes and no. I think
Like I
some
said,
of it's
hang
really
on.
funny because she's
Like I said, I didn't say it was boring.
right.
I said it's
Yeah.
slower.
It is a little bit slower.
It's slower.
Agreed. But it's just funny because she's just learning to wear a dress and to like a ball gown, and she's just like, it's just really funny because she has to learn to walk in it, and it's
Yeah,
just, it's
and,
amusing.
And of course, there's twists that happen,
Right.
and but there's a lot of information and interesting things that happen in the party. So it's definitely not boring, but it is slower. But it's also entertaining because for the first time, the main character is learning how to become a woman.
Right.
Meanwhile, Kelsier is just being awesome.
Right.
I don't know how else to say. He's my favorite character I think Sanderson's ever written.
I think I would have to agree with that. He's either my second or first. I mean, Kaladin from the
Way of Kings.
Way of Kings and the what's the trilogy called? I just drew it
The
blank.
Stormlight Archives?
Stormlight Archives, yes.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite, and followed up by
Kelsier.
Kelsier.
Or Kelsier, I think is how it's actually pronounced, but we call it Kelsier.
Right. He's just...
Yeah, he's just real
He
cool.
also holds a set of... Spoilers. Holds a set of magic like nobody else I've seen. And he uses it so well.
He has a...
Yeah.
So, because Vin also has the same magic.
Right.
And, like, in the world, people have the same magic. He's not the only one. But his
right.
confidence in it is just...
Right.
He knows what he's doing and he's going for it.
Right. And he comes alongside Vin and shows her things and kind of takes him under his wing, so to speak. But he's just...
Yeah, he's insane. He's
so
he's
confident
just really cool.
in who he
He's
is.
also just
Yeah.
like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Second book, The Well of Ascension. There in the middle.
Mistborn, Well of Ascension.
It is a little slower at the
Definitely
beginning.
slower.
There's a lot of politicking involved.
And setup, yeah.
And setup. So for about the first half, it's a little slower. Now, there's some really interesting stuff that happens in there.
Sure.
And it was probably a third of the way through the book where I literally put the book down and I thought, I want to do this. And that's when I started writing. Like, that's how good it is. It inspired me to pursue this as a life. But for about the first half, a lot of politicking going on. Maybe the first third. And then it picks up.
Yes.
And then it
goes
and then
crazy.
it starts going. And
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. And then it goes straight into book 3, almost straight into it.
Right. I think it's like maybe a week gap between
Yeah.
like the two books. Like it's pretty back to back.
Yeah, and book 3 just takes off. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. A few more characters get introduced. Not necessarily introduced, but throughout the series they do, and you get some chapters from other people's perspectives.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just an absolutely incredible
It's
book.
fantastic.
Especially the third book and the second half of the second.
Right.
Very
right.
good. Just
All
incredible.
the setup in the first half of the second book comes into play. And
Yeah.
everything gets tied up, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really...
We're gonna move on to the second trilogy.
So it's the same universe, just like 100 so years in the future. So we have Alloys of Law, Shadows of Self, and Bands of Mourning. So these are pretty much descendants of some of the...
Yeah, so it takes place hundreds of years after
Right.
the third book of Mistborn. Same magic system. It's tweaked a little differently. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but
it's
because of
involved,
how the
yeah.
third one ends, the magic is tweaked a little bit in the universe. Like the universe itself is tweaked a little bit.
Right.
And then So what happens is, instead of this being like an Overthrow the Evil Empire book, it's the main characters, Wax and Wayne, are a crime detective duo.
With a little bit of a splintered past.
Yeah.
One of the characters is basically a pickpocket, and it's really funny. He's always, spoilers, he's always snatching little things and putting other things back. He says he borrows everything, or he trades things. So he might steal your bottle of whiskey, but he'll leave you a pencil that he found. Like,
Right.
he's just always, it's just
It's amusing.
very amusing in the background. All this is happening.
But it's if you like Mistborn, I'd say it's a good read. I wouldn't put it on the same level as Mistborn personally. I think other people might have different opinions. They were good reads. Like, they were very entertaining.
Very, very solid reads, yeah.
And he did some really cool stuff with the magic system, and the plots were solid, and it was good investigative books, but I don't think it's on the same level as Mistborn.
Not quite the same level. I still think it's a very, very good read. I think it's better than a lot of the books out there today. And if you have a really fantastic book, write it down, prove me wrong. But it's a very, very solid read. Like I've stated previously, I've read thousands of books, and they're definitely up there as far as, they might be a little bit less than Mistborn, but they're definitely there.
Yeah, and like I said, they're great. They're fantastic. I mean, there's a reason he's a multiple-time #1 best-time-selling author.
Very much so.
He knows what he's doing, and he writes good books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check them out.
Get them on Amazon.
Very good. You can get these on Amazon as well. I think we got them on Amazon. If you have a local bookstore, check there. Sometimes people give up Sanderson books. I don't know why.
Used bookstore Sanderson is very hard to find. Yeah.
But if you have a local bookstore, please support them as well. I know we have one that we frequent as well that we recently found. But yeah, definitely check out these books. Mistborn is a fantastic read. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Got anything else you want to say about it?
Just awesome. You should read it.
It's just awesome. You should read it. Thank you all for watching. Please check us out on the social medias. Tell us about your favorite books. We'd love to talk to them about you. Maybe even review them on stream as well. This has been Coffee and Books. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.